ask why it looks like I'm in a different setting, it's because I'm in New Jersey right now, at the time of recording, but I watched Possum review of Jurassic Dominion, and it sucked. And I'm going to roast him like a 4th of July barbecue. Let's go.
At no point in the movie is it ever mentioned that it's entirely Clone Girl's fault that the world is overrun with man-eating dinosaurs.
Yeah, it Maisie might be at fault, but you know, a bunch of dinosaurs were already sold by Mills, so, you know, and Mills is the reason they're on the mainland in the first place.
Actually, the fact that there's dinosaurs running loose all over the world is barely even touched upon by the movie.
I call absolute BS. Let's list times where we see dinosaurs in our world, the consequences of dinosaurs in our world. We see a ceratopsid cattle farm at the beginning, the entire opening news sequence, the mosasaurus eating the boat, destroying the boat, an entire dinosaur black market, violence in using dinosaurs to cure diseases, you know, that's like a brief name drop, and an entire dinosaur sanctuary. And also there's a Dino Tracker website, which was released before the movie, so don't say it's outside information released after the movie that's still trying to make sense of the movie that Star Wars seems to be doing.
Because getting someone's DNA requires you to kidnap them, I guess. Couldn't they just sneak into the cabin when no one's home and steal a tampon out of the garbage can or something?
Because that's insanely inappropriate for a PG-13 movie, and I don't think menstrual blood is the same as normal blood, and I'm pretty sure they had to study her.
Market assaulted buyers in Northern Africa, the Middle East, and so on, but the movie needed to get distribution in China, so the filmmakers were careful to make sure they didn't mention China. Stomps over to this deer that's just minding its own business eating some plant. I guess Salad Fingersaurus can't just eat any of the millions of other plants nearby, so a bitch slaps the deer away, killing it, so it can eat that one very special plant.
Well, not many people know, but you know that some animals are extremely territorial and don't like when animals are in their swamp. Shrek reference, but There's is one of those, and I hate how he said that it's an herbivore. So he's saying that because it's an herbivore, it's harmless and cute, which is the stupidest thing ever. Herbivores can be dangerous, and they're not cute, which is something the movie shows.
Really, the Tyrannosaurus and the Salad Fingersaurus just kind of team up, even though these dumb animals have no reason to trust each other or help each other.
I really hate how he calls the dinosaurs dumb, and also the Therizinosaurus, which I hate that he has to mock the name, which I see a lot of Jurassic World haters doing, just mocking the dinosaur's name, but mainly they didn't really team up. They were just both going for the Giga. It wasn't like in the Jurassic World final battle. The Giga just didn't know which one to fight, and then Rexy just uses her smarts, which contradicts what you said about them being dumb, and pushes the Giga onto the Thery's claws.
But the movie has to end with a big dinosaur fight, I guess.
In typical filmmaking processes, there's structures to a film's plot: the exposition, the rising action, the climax, the falling action, and the resolution. And the climax is normally like, you know, the final battle or the emotional peak of the movie, which, albeit Dominion didn't have the best climax, but it wasn't terrible. But, you know, a movie has to have, you know, that big climax. If you strip away the climax, it's not a movie. Or at least it's not a complete movie.
And come to think of it, there's also very little gore in this movie compared to the previous ones. Actually, I don't remember there being any blood at all. It's really toned down for mass appeal.
What do we see in Dominion that's violent? We see a man get burned alive, a man get his face torn off by a baryonyx, so they didn't really show that because the movie would be rated R. Dodson getting killed by a officer, so they also didn't show it because it would probably be rated R. Which also goes to show that these are violent deaths if they don't show them, because then that would mean that it would get rated R. We also see an Allosaurus chomp 3 people, and the Giganosaurus getting impaled. Honestly, I mean, maybe there wasn't as much gore.
You know, something that's always bothered me about Jurassic Park as a franchise is the way the plot contradicts the theme. Then the sequels try to play up the notion that the dinosaurs are these majestic creatures of nature that humans shouldn't mess with and should coexist with, but there's nothing natural about them. Within the context of this franchise, the dinosaurs are basically artificial Frankenstein monsters.
I really hate how he just calls the dinosaurs monsters. Like they're just like totally unnatural dinosaurs, and even he calls them they're not natural at all, which might be true because they brought that back through genetic engineering. But dinosaurs did live on Earth, and and what I said about the sequel is having saying like dinosaurs aren't monsters. I mean, it's the entire franchise, like how Grant even says in Jurassic Park, like, calm down, they're not monsters, they're just animals. And, there's a lot of, scenes in the sequel showing dinosaurs, just being animals. Like, the entire ending of Dominion, the whole montage of just seeing dinosaurs coexisting with life. They're not monsters, they're just animals. And even the Giganotosaurus behaves so much like an animal in the movie, it doesn't immediately chase the humans. It just goes up to the humans and curiously looks at them. But then once they start running, it goes for them, and there's a lot. So we conclude this video of me roasting the hell out of Possum Reviews in his awful video. And just as inclusion, dinosaurs are not monsters. I hate that stereotype.